It's time for another installment of Poorly Drawn Theater by Curt, one of the most wonderful Catholic Part 1, Cupid and Psyche. There was once a beautiful maiden whose beauty surpassed even Venus. This made Venus totes gel, so she told Cupid to make her fall in love with the ugliest creature in the world. However, Cupid could not hurt such a beautiful creature, and stopped performing his Cupidly duties. Cupid told Apollo his story, and Apollo told the oracle to make Psyche wait on a mountain for her husband. Psyche was whisked away to a beautiful palace. She could hear her husband, but not see him. Needless to say, it was a little weird. Cupid said, "Your sisters are coming, don't listen to them." Wow, this is like so great, Psyche. Psst! Hey sis, this place is a lot better than our jewel-encrusted palaces. Let's bring Psyche down to our level. Hey Psyche, your husband's really a giant snake. Really? Yeah. So, later that night, Psyche investigated. Wait a minute, you're not a snake, you're hot! But it was too late, as Psyche woke Cupid. I told you not to listen to your sisters! I'm out of here! And so, Psyche searched the planet far and wide for her husband. Venus, I can't find my husband, will you help me? Sure, but you gotta sort these seeds first. Ah, crap. Psyche then had to shear some sheep by a river. When she got there, she wanted to throw herself into it, but a reed told her not to, so obviously she didn't. Ah, come on! Ah! Go to Hades and fill this box with beauty! Sure thing, boss! I wonder what's in this box. Why am I so sleepy? Cupid was still in love with Psyche, and so asked Zeus to allow him to marry her. I don't see why not, said Zeus. And they all lived happily ever after. Part 2, Pyramus and Thisbe. There was once two lovers who were forbidden to see each other. One night they planned to meet in secret under a mulberry tree. Thisbe arrived first, and as usual had to wait for the man to get there. Am I right, ladies? However, Thisbe saw a lion and ran away. She left her cloak and the lion got some blood of an unspecified origin on it. Pyramus saw the bloody cloak and assumed Thisbe was eaten, so Pyramus killed himself. Just to clarify, this is not Romeo and Juliet. Thisbe arrived, saw Pyramus, and killed herself. And that is why mulberries are red. Part 3, Orpheus and Eurydice. There once was a great musician whose playing rivaled that of the gods. He used his music to woo Eurydice, and they were married. However, immediately after the wedding, Eurydice was bitten by a snake and promptly died. Orpheus went to Hades to get his love back. Hades said he could have her back if he didn't look at her until she was out of hell. Orpheus looked back at Eurydice, but she was still in Hades, so she turned into a pillar of salt, disappeared. Orpheus was crestfallen and wandered the world playing his lute. Thankfully, some bandits dismembered him and tossed his head in a river. His body washed up on the Lesbian shore, where he was buried, and that is why nightingales sing so sweetly. Part 4. Pygmalion. There once was a man who really hated women, so naturally he made a beautiful sculpture of one. Pygmalion fell deeply in love with the statue. He gave her many gifts that normal women love, like birds, gay flowers, and amber tears. Pygmalion begged Venus to make his statue real, so she did. And they all lived happily ever after. Part 5. Daphne. Daphne was another one of those independent, love and marriage-hating young huntresses. You know what I mean. One day, Apollo saw Daphne and decided to chase her so she'd marry him. Daphne ran, but when Apollo caught up, she asked her river godfather to save her. So, as any good father would, he turned Daphne into a tree, which I guess is better than being married to a god. And that's how we get laurel trees. Part 6. Phaethon. After working out some abandonment issues with his therapist, Phaethon wanted to find his real dad. This led him to the sun god. "Are you my father?" Phaethon asked. "What, does climbing want some money? I pay child support every month. What is she spending it on?" said Helios. Phaethon didn't believe him, though. "I'll prove it to you," said Helios. "Anything you want, it's yours." "I want to drive your chariot!" "Oh." So Phaethon drove the sun across the sky. Surprisingly, a teenage boy had a bit of trouble controlling it. The earth was ablaze, and Zeus had to use his lightning bolt to kill Phaethon. His sisters went to his grave to mourn him, but they turned into poplars. That seems to be going around. Part 7. Bellerophon. There once was a man whose prowess rivaled that of the gods. As a result, he had an ego that rivaled the gods as well. With Athena's help, he tamed the winged horse Pegasus. For some reason, Bellerophon killed his brother. To atone, he had to kill the Chimera. The Chimera was a terrible beast with the body of a lion, a snake for a tail, and what the hell, how about a goat head on its back? With Pegasus' help, Bellerophon slew the Chimera easily. He felt so empowered, he tried to fly to Mount Olympus. Pegasus would have none of that, so he threw Bellerophon off his back. Bellerophon spent the rest of his days crying, while Pegasus was put out to stud.